Alright, I gotta fuss about something here. And I know it's gonna piss a lot of people off because I just know how the public is anymore. And I know you're gonna get mad about it and probably give me like 2,000 dislikes and stuff like that. You can do that if you want. But I have to fuss about one thing here. You remember those Star Wars prequels? How everyone says that's the worst part of the entire franchise, and thus, since they were bad, it made even the originals bad. Just because apparently none of that made any fucking sense whatsoever. Everyone says it's just horrible. I personally want to get some comments and stuff on exactly why all the people out there that hate the prequels, why is it bad? What is wrong with the Star Wars prequels? Every time I get on YouTube, and I mean every single time I get on YouTube and I want to be like, hey, I'm going to watch some Star Wars news, what's coming up in episode 7, here's some more about the spin-off movies and stuff, and then immediately, and I am talking just about immediately within the first probably 5 minutes of a video, people start down talking the prequels. I personally thought the prequels were pretty damn good parts of the movie. Yeah, they had some cheesy parts in it, like, okay, the whole love story in episode 2, and, I don't remember the guy's name that plays Anakin there, but everyone said, oh, he's such a bad actor, and blah, blah, blah. How is he a bad actor? I don't really see nothing wrong with his acting. I don't understand how the media and paparazzi and all them think that, okay, this is bad, this is good. How do you judge something like that? How do you judge that it's bad? That's my question. How do you judge that Anakin, the guy that played Anakin, is a bad character or a bad actor or whatever you call it? Personally, I thought he was okay. I never saw anything wrong with it. And, you should enjoy the prequels anyway. It brought to life how Lord Vader and the Emperor and all them, where did they come from? How did they get started? How did Vader get the suit? Why did he have to have the suit? Nothing really explained anything. When 4, 5, and 6 was out, it didn't really explain much of why he had a respirator. So, and then of course, you have one, people are like, oh, well, it's, how come you started out with number 1? Why the Phantom Menace? Couldn't you start out with Revenge of the Sith? I don't understand why number 1 is so bad. I love Darth Maul. Darth Maul, I thought, was one of the badass characters out there. He's definitely better than freaking Boba Fett, I'll tell you that. I see a lot about everyone loves Boba Fett, Boba Fett, Boba Fett. He's just a fucking clone. That's all he is. In fact, you should like Jango, if anything. He actually stood up against Obi-Wan Kenobi. He stood up against him. Even for a short period of time. But hell, that just shows a bounty hunter actually stood up to Obi-Wan in episode 2. He didn't do a bad fucking job at that. You ever see Boba ever go out there and fight a freaking Jedi besides Luke? And Luke didn't even have to do anything to beat him. In fact, it was a blind Han Solo. Come on! Give credit to the characters that deserve the credit. Everyone loves Boba. And I have really nothing against Boba. But what is so kick-ass about Boba is what I don't get. What is it that you guys love about Boba? And I know I'm pissing a lot of you off about Boba, but he's not that great of a character. He just looks cool. At least Vader looks cool and is cool. And another thing is, it should tell, the prequels should tell, they tell a story about where Vader came from, and in episode 3, I thought episode 3 was a pretty good one as well. Oh, the only good part about it was when, Anakin and Obi-Wan fought. Just because we know exactly how it's going to end anyway, so obviously it makes it bad. That's not true. Can't you guys find enjoyment for once in your lives? Find enjoyment in something instead of bitching? I've been watching about all this stuff about Five Nights at Freddy's. I've been watching all this crap about it. And I always thought, I was like, it took me a little bit to get into it. And I was like, this is pretty good. It's not bad. I'm just not really good at the games. But they weren't bad. And everyone starts fussing about, oh, this isn't right. And Foxy and... Every time I get on the internet, there's always some lame excuse of why something is bad. And it's for dumb reasons. Instead of finding enjoyment in a movie or a game or whatever, you have to find every little tiny bad thing about it and thus calling it shit. I personally enjoyed the prequels of Star Wars. There's a few things that were kind of weird, but it didn't make the whole franchise crap and damage the entire franchise just because of 1, 2, and 3. I've grew up with Star Wars, and nothing's going to make it that bad. Even if Disney does something to it, it's not going to make it bad, or at least the original's bad in my book, and I consider the prequels originals even, because that's part of the main story. And then I got on there today, and this is what maybe sparked my anger and why I'm wanting to make a video about this and fuss. Disney wants to erase everything that has to do with the prequels. Are you serious? If you delete that stuff and say it wasn't true, then you're going to have to make new prequels in order to make sense. And then a lot of people are talking about focus on one character. You know, why'd you need Maul, Count Dooku, and blah, blah, blah? Just focus on one character and stick with it. Sure, we're just focused on one character. But what sense is that going to make? You want it to be like freaking Star Trek? Which, by the way, JJ is doing, but I have faith in him. But I get so pissed about hearing people fuss about the prequels when they're not entirely bad movies. At least it brought some answers out for people that want to know what happened in the past. Why did Vader become Vader? What happened to them in the past? You know, how come he has to have a respirator? But that wasn't good enough. And just because of a few insignificant things in the prequels, it all of a sudden the entire Star Wars franchise is becoming hated. Just because of the prequels. Get all of you guys that hate the prequels, and this is for you guys only, get your shit together, please. What sense does it make to fuss about them? And think about what I said before you start putting comments about how big of a dumbass I am for saying that. And I'm a dumbass for liking it. Think about what I said for a minute and honestly make a conclusion. Am I right or wrong? Do you really want to erase everything that has to do with the prequels just because you think it's bad? Is there really not any good parts in there whatsoever? Answer that question, and then you can put a bunch of bad comments on there if you want to. I want to know your thoughts. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think about that. And even the guys out there that do like the prequels, what do you think? Do you really think it's really that bad? And I'm even asking the people that hate the prequels. Do you really honestly say it's truly that bad? If you look at all the good stuff in it, all the answers you received from 4, 5, and 6, you got all these answers now you want to know, and now they're going to continue the series. Truly tell me it's that bad. Because any out there that think it's really that bad, I don't understand that. It's your opinion to not like a movie, and that's fine. But to sit there and down them and everyone start agreeing with one person just because they point out one little insignificant factor, that's another story. That's what gets my blood a boiling. I can't enjoy nothing anymore. Anyway, talk to y'all later.